You told me about this.
But very similar. Jordan has that drive, and we know Jordan to go like almost to David Goggins, like he doesn't stop, right? But they shows him human, which made me like him more. Like he wasn't. There's a point in it where he pushes Scottie Pippen in game 6 in the Last Dance game, and he pushes who hurts his back, and he's like, "No, you're gonna do it," because Jordan like would expect people out of himself the best, but he also expects other people. But there was points, dude, when Jordan he went and played baseball, and he's out of basketball shape, and he just wasn't good. Like, and he missed shots, but he was so calm and cool about it, like literally. And he would like basically say, very like
people who do it, whatever. So he's running, and the guy's name is, I forget what the guy's name is. He falls behind. So he's doing all things like you can use poles during this race, and he's not using the poles. He's using his hands on his knees. And then finally the guy goes, listen, we're at mile 7, but it's not for him, it's for his friend. So he starts waiting for the guy. So the guy comes down, like is running towards them, and like stops, and he goes, are you David Goggins? And he's like, yes, sir, I am. And he's like, he's like, my son told me that you're on this race. He's like, I was wondering if I was able to keep up with you. Looks like now I'm beating you. And then he kept running, right? So David Goggins just sits there, and his friend who he waited for is like, fuck that guy. And David Goggins is like, never mind him. And he's like, listen, you don't have to stay for me, whatever it is. And David Goggins is like, no, whatever it is. And the guy who knows what propels David Goggins to move forward is like, you go catch that guy, and you make sure, tell him no, that like you're like the alpha guy on the race, right? So David Goggins like, that's all I need to hear. He's like, so I ran, and if they're running in the night, he goes, I ran him, and I see him coming. I'm coming up behind him. This is what I mean. It's hysterical. He's like, I'm running, I'm catching up with him. And he goes, I made sure it's pitch black dark. He's like, we have lights on, but it's really hard to see. He's like, I made sure I put my shoulder right next to him when I passed him, so where he could feel my breath. And then I just side-eyed him. He just kept running by him. And but like that's the stuff that pushes David Goggins, right? Where I admit that like you have that, Jordan has that. There's a little bit of give up in me. Like I actually go like, fuck it. Like I'm